So I've looked at the superficial damage. Now it's time to dig into it, see if there's anything hiding, anything I might have missed. That requires taking off both front and rear bumpers, which is fine. They both need to be replaced anyway because they are too heavily damaged to be repaired. What lurks underneath, we'll find out. I mean, of course, you've got to remove a bunch of stuff to get to it. I mean, the rear bumper, it looks like you got to remove the tail lights to get to the bumper bolts. That's fine. Front bumper, you know, just a lot of bolts all over the place, removing a lot of little pieces, little plastic clips that I'll probably break because the car, a little bit on the other side, those plastic things get brittle, they break. That's okay. Well, let's tear it down. Let's see what lurks underneath. Man, I hate that. I just had to get my headlight. You can see it cracked the corner of the lens right here, and then this bracket. So this piece is the top bracket that actually bolts to the car. It should be on the headlight like so, but it cracked right here, and right here, so it is not attached, but that would be attached to the headlight. It bolts, these two bolts bolt into the car, and those are the only bolts the headlight has to the car. The rest of it, you've got a slot here and a slot here, and it kind of just slides in there, and then you got the electrical harness right here. And that's it for the headlight. So I will need a new passenger headlight. These bulbs, I will save the bulbs, but yeah, you know, all of these brackets are messed up. And yeah, you might get epoxy those in. I kind of hate to do that, kind of cheap way out. But since I got this corner cracked, I'm just going to replace the whole thing. And even then, I don't know if I'd try to save this since every single one is broken off. But now I'm into the car, and there's that's broken. That's broken. I don't know what else is going on in here. I mean, a lot of dirt in this, but dirt don't hurt. Oh, that's broken too. Ah, great. Let me see. See right there? That is broken. This should be attached to there. This, I wonder if this core sport's plastic, because this piece is plastic. Some other pieces on the core sport are plastic. It's like the whole core sport's plastic. I mean, I guess you have got the frame rails and stuff, but it just seems weird to me how much it's plastic. Alright, this, I don't know, I had to figure out how all this stuff fits together, man. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. I don't know how any of this stuff fits together. Man, my fender, that part was bent out. And that's something that could be fixed. You'd have to paint it still. But you got this too. I mean, I just need to see what I can get a fender for. Oh, this has a pinstripe. If I have to add a, you know, I guess I can add a pinstripe. I think it's, yeah, it's just some like vinyl tape. I'll probably add a pinstripe if I have to. Maybe let's take the whole pinstripe off. I don't know. We'll see. It's, yeah, everything's all bent up and dented. Awesome. And why am I not going to throw away anything until this job is done? Because you just might run into an issue where, like, you need one of these screws or something. Like, you never know what you're going to run into. And that's why I'm not going to throw it away. Keep it all. Yeah, I guess this is the headlight bracket, and this is just a cover panel. But you'd have to, yeah, I know, it's kind of weird setup. But hey, you know, Hyundai did it the way they thought best. I'll give it to them. Well, I've got the front bumper off. Not too bad of a job. You can see, got crunched pretty hard. I just want to pull this out, kind of make sure the front end is kind of in a shape and things straighten out before I start taking things off. Because if I start taking things off like this, well, my new core sport may not fit, and I'm gonna be lost as to know what to do. If I start trying to pull this out and straighten out what I've got, when I start putting new parts on, I'll be in better shape. I may have to massage a few things, pull a few things, but you can just look. You kind of see what's going on. Like, look at this right here. You see that clean spot right there? This whole core sport went back. This bolt, or this piece, used to be pulled this way. So that's something I need to look at as I'm putting these things back together, trying to get this thing back shape. This whole thing should be pulled this way. Same thing for the other side. You can see that bolt used to be this way. This piece, this core sport, it pushed that way. So really, I need to loosen these bolts, start pulling things out. I mean, the big thing is start pulling that bumper crash guard. Once I start pulling that out, things will follow. Because you can see this piece is bowed in. This condenser is bowed in. Doesn't seem to be leaking. I guess I really need to touch the air conditioner. I can't really say it's not leaking. I don't know. I mean, you just see the gap. These things should meet. Like, this whole piece is pushed back. So yeah, there's some damage there. Start pulling it out, see what kind of shape we can get in. Because if I can get this stuff more or less straight, that'll make bolting every successive piece on easier. So that is where we are. My coolant is leaking. And that's a pretty good leak. But I'm gonna have to pull off I'm gonna have to pull out the air box because it's leaking from right in here. This is where the coolant hoses enter the engine. I'm hoping it's just a coolant hose got knocked or twisted or something. I don't know. There's a lot of plastic on these engines, so maybe something plastic got cracked. I don't know because I don't know what's in there. I just know the leak is definitely in here. You can see it's going here, going down. I've located the source. I just need to pull everything out to see what specifically is leaking because I can't see from the top or bottom where that leak is originating from. I just know the heater, the radiator hoses go into the engine right in here, and that's where we're leaking. I've gotten the rear bumper off. Took me a little bit because you have to pull off the interior panels, and there are bolts back in there that go all the way to the outside, right in here. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but it took me a minute to figure that out. And the one thing, the mystery that's still plaguing me, see that little silver clip right there? So these little rubber straps somehow clip to that. I don't know how you would do that though, because to bolt this in, there's no bolts behind here. This has to be bolted in first. The bumper cover goes on top. I don't know if you have to pull it back and reach in there and clip it on. I don't know. I'm very confused about how you do that because you can't mount this whole crash bar and bumper cover on. The crash bar goes on first, then the bumper cover. So how do I put the bumper cover on? How do I put the bumper cover on and clip this? I mean, other than just pulling it out and kind of reaching back there and doing the best you can with it. I don't know. That's curious. When I was pulling the bumper off, I heard one kind of pop. There were two back here. They're both on there. They're both on each side. I don't know. I'd love to know the proper way to do that, unless you just pull the bumper cover back and reach in there and do what you can. But, well, a little piece of foam is there. Looks good. A little bit of damage below there. You see, whatever car hit this, it went right under the bumper and hit right into my spare tire carrier. Now, of all things to hit, that's probably the best case scenario. I'd rather not have hit anything. If it hit my bumper, it probably would have cracked my bumper crash guard and not done any damage to the car. I mean, you've got a fair amount of space. These cars are made to crumple and not damage stuff. But where it was, it went right under the crash guard. You can see it hit right into my spare tire carrier. I mean, not a big deal. I will need to try to pull that out. I don't know how far out it needs to come. I mean, I'm thinking it needs to kind of come out to about right here. Now you can kind of see this one that needs to pull out. Looks like it's a blue car that hit it. We can figure that out. Not a big deal. It doesn't affect the operation of the car. I mean, things can be great. Probably going to drive 1 billion miles. That's just my rough estimate. So I had to take the back seat out. I just got to get this thing cleaned up. It's just one of those little idiosyncrasies of mine. There are 2 bolts. There's one here, one there on the other side. It's just you got to get in between the back and the bottom. And then the front, there's just some clips you push in, and this thing comes right out. Not crazy under there, just a little bit of junk that's got it. I don't know how there's a block of wood. There's a light bulb. It's it's curious, but we're gonna bang it up real quick. Then I'll fold these seats down, get whatever is in that weird little gap between the trunk and the cab, and just bang it up. I'm thinking the front seats. I might take those all the way out. I mean, there's some stuff under there. My vacuum is just not small enough to get between the console and the seats. So I may just take the seats all the way out, get underneath them, get it all cleaned up, super duper well. We'll see. Did I unbolt the seat? Yes, I did. Not crazy under there. Couple French fries. So not too bad. I'm glad I unplugged it or undid it. Some wiring. I'm probably just going to tilt this thing back, clean it in there and be done with it. I mean, this is not bad at all. I've seen some way worse stuff. But I knew there's some fries right there. Want to get those. The driver's seat's going to be worse. That's where somebody's always sitting. The passenger seat, that'll probably be good to go. So I'm going to clean this up real quick, get this thing bolted back in. And man, this thing, it's clean looking. It may not be done, but it sure is clean.